Okay, just like how Star Trek calls their laser guns phaser guns, well, let's go ahead and take a look at the laser pedal. No, I'm just kidding. We're gonna look at the phaser pedal because we're cool. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into the phaser pedal within GarageBand. Now we're gonna look at this phaser pedal, which is called Phase Tripper. It's a little pink guy, and it's called Phase Tripper because it's kind of like a trippy sound that it produces, and it's modeling after phasing issues within the audio world. So within the audio world, when something is completely out of phase, that actually means silence because it cancels out an audio signal. So since an audio wave has an up and then a down for the vibration, if you have the complete opposite where it's down and then up, that completely cancels it out and you're left with nothing. So when something is slightly out of phase, it cancels out a lot of frequencies, but it doesn't necessarily cancel out everything. So you're still able to hear the signal. It just sounds funky and like sometimes muffled and like a warped type of sound. So that's what a phaser does. It kind of takes your audio signal and makes it slightly out of phase and gives you this weird muffly sound that takes out a lot of frequencies away from it. And typically with phaser pedals, you can have the options of having the rate, depth, and feedback, such as this pedal. So let's take a look at each one by one. But you know what? Let's go ahead and take a listen to what the default setting is that GarageBand gives us for this pedal. So let's play a little bit. Okay, as you can see, it kind of goes back and forth from left to right and kind of has that warped sound which goes in and out. So how fast that sound goes in and out is modified by this button right here, or this knob, the rate knob. So the faster or the more higher the rate, obviously the more faster that in and out sound is going to sound like. So let's take a listen now at a faster rate. Okay, so that's a little annoying actually. It's way too fast over rate. But as an example, let's go ahead and show a slower rate and see how that sounds. Okay, as you can see that one's a lot slower. It was kind of like a gradual process, going from left to right and going in and out. So that's what the rate one does. I'm going to bring this back up to where it was, and let's check out the depth. Depth is how much or how drastic the audio signal goes in and out. So if you have a high depth percentage, then it's really going to come in and really going to go out. So let's take a listen at a high percentage depth rate. Okay, so now let's try it at a low percentage depth rate and see how that sounds compared. All right, see how it doesn't go in and out quite as drastically. So I'm going to set that back to 0 or back to about midway. And feedback is how many repetitions, because as you know, feedback is going from the output to back into the input. So it's just feeding itself back. So that causes a repetition and all the repeatingness afterwards. So let's do a high percentage feedback and check that out. Okay, now that one's really, really weird, but let's try that at a low percentage of feedback and see if that makes a difference. Okay, so there you go. That is the phaser pedal. Typically, my taste in phasers, I like to have low percentages of almost each one of these knobs. Obviously, it depends on what song you're playing, what melody you're playing, and so on and so on. But typically for me, I just don't really like how drastic it sounds. It just sounds like ridiculous when it high percentage. But anyway, there you go. That's the phaser. Have fun with that.
So please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any requests, please send them to requests@mahalo.com.
Well, I do remember, darling, the time we spent on my roof just staring.